So you're now sitting on 3 titles in as many years. Can you rank them in order of personal significance?
Luckily, they're all 3, I think, also a bit different. The first one was probably the most emotional one. And now, because of winning your third, I think the third one has been, I think, the best one in terms of dominance and performance. So I guess the second one just sits in the middle of it.
The second one just sits in the middle like it's, oh, that happens too. In the United States, Tom Brady in the NFL was incredibly dominant at the height of his career. Tiger Woods at the height of his career was winning everything. Michael Jordan in the NBA, same thing. When you compare your career to other athletes, is there an athlete in mind that stands out?
I find that really hard to compare. I think already just because it's very different sports, right? So I don't like to compare. I just appreciate what everyone is achieving in, or has achieved also in their particular sport. And I also just like to be myself. I don't want to be compared to anyone. I'm enjoying my own success, and of course I hope that it lasts for a bit longer.
So how do you want us, if you want to just be yourself, how do you want us to view you? When we look at you as Max, we see Max the dominant driver. What else should we think?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't want to be rude, right? But I got into this sport, and I'm just here to perform, and I just want to do my best, and then I go home and I don't think about it. So for me personally, I'm not really interested in what other people think of what I achieve, because I'm just so focused on being with my team and just doing the best I can. Because if I know that they rate my performance as well, that's all that I care about. And then I go home, spend time with my family, and that's it.
Is that something you've always been able to do, or is that a luxury brought on by success?
No, I think I'm pretty relaxed about it. I know who is important to me. I know, the important people around me, and yeah, we just work very well together. To try and always get the best out of myself, and of course out of the team, and that's enough for me. And that's how I switch on, switch off. In between races and going home.
Have you always been able to compartmentalize?
Yeah, I mean, of course you grow in it. I mean, when I was a little kid, probably you don't even think about these kind of things so much. But especially when you move closer to F1 and then you get into F1, I think it helps me a lot, to basically not stress about a lot of stuff.
So if you have a great day or you have a terrible day, who is the first person you reach out to?
Oh, I don't need to reach out. My dad already texted me or called me. But we have a very very honest relationship about the performance side of stuff. But at the same time, also your close ones, your family, when you get home, it's important, when you get back home, that you are just with them and you forget about this world. Yeah.
I mean, at this moment in time, if you continue with your success, you're basically on pace to destroy every career record. This year alone, wins, podiums, points. You can do the most in a single season. Is there one that means more to you than the others?
Yeah, so I think first of all, I'm not out there to hunt any kind of records, because I know that in F1, these kind of things also you need a bit of luck, where you need to be part of a winning setup for a long time. So for me, I always go to every single weekend and I just try to get the best out of it. And as long as I can say to myself coming out of the weekend that I did that, I'm happy. But then of course you're very dependent on your car, your team, to give you the winning car, let's say like that.
F1 is very fickle. I mean, there are drivers, Lewis Hamilton, who was at the pinnacle and so good for so many years. Same thing with Sebastian Vettel, and then suddenly that dominance is gone. How much do you want to have a say when that day comes and you're not the dominant one anymore? How much do you want to have a say in, I'm good, I want to walk away, or I'm willing to stay and fight when I'm not in the car anymore?
Yeah, so I mean, of course I have a contract till the end of 28. Then I'll be 31 years old. I've been in F1 for quite a while at that point. And for me also, F1 is not my whole life. I have a lot of other plans that I want to achieve. And of course, when I was a little kid, I dreamt of being an F1 driver, and basically now having completed already way more than I ever thought I could have done in the sport. So then I think already for me it's a lot easier to walk away from it instead of having this like constant desire of trying to achieve or get something that you haven't done before. Well, I mean, I can win another 5 titles, but you do the same thing, So for me, that's why there is no real number to it. Like if I come to the end of 28 and the contract is up and I haven't won another title, well, that's it then. I'm happy with that. I'm already happy right now. If you tell me tomorrow, like, Max, for whatever reason you can't drive anymore, I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I'll do something else. Like, I don't really have this constant desire to win 8 or 9 titles or whatever.
So what does life look like for you after Formula One? Like, what has your interest peaked right now?
It's still a lot of racing, but not particularly just myself. I want to set up maybe my own racing team and help young talent come through. Not necessarily through go-karting ranks. I mean, I spend a lot of time in the virtual world, so sim racing, and I see a lot of, I would say, lost talent in a way because they never had the funding to get into a real car. So I want to try and bridge that gap from, coming from the virtual world into a real racing car.
How do you go about doing that?
I have a lot of plans already, and step by step, this is also something you can't rush. Everything needs to be well planned, and waiting for the right people, the right talent to come through, and then of course give them a good opportunity as well, in the right cars to reach the top. This is not necessarily F1, maybe it's more endurance racing, but doesn't matter.
Having the right people around you at the right time is obviously vitally important. Going forward, how important is it for you that the team stays exactly as it is right now?
Yeah, it's incredibly important. The people that we have in the team right now, they all contributed to the success that we are having. And also for the future, I think it's very important to keep those people on board.
Obviously, you're incredibly successful. You have a teammate. Do you feel at any point that like the teammate just doesn't matter, that maybe you don't even need a teammate? Obviously you always have one, but there's a need. Do you feel like you need that teammate at all?
Let's say like that, I don't need my teammate to perform at my best, if you know what I mean. I always look at myself and I always go by myself, to try and achieve everything. Like I don't need the motivation of a teammate to try and win the race. But it's nice to have a teammate that you get on with and have a good relationship with, and that's what I'm having with Checo, and that's why also we really push the team forward. And I mean, being alone in the team is probably also a bit boring, right? So having two and a great guy as well, a nice guy, it's also important for everyone involved.
When you come here, so my husband is Australian, and sometimes he will poke fun at me and be like, "You're so American right now." What is something that is so American that stands out to you every time you come to the U.S.?
I think in general in America, like, the show is quite big, and it's important to it. For me, like, I'm probably a bit more, I would like to be a bit more on the background. I know, of course, in F1 that's very hard, but, I'm not out there to be the showman, if you know what I mean. Like, I mean, everyone, of course, is all about performances, and that's the same in the US, but I feel like sometimes the show is also quite important, and for me that has like zero interest. But again, that's why America is also great in a way, because they know how to deal with a lot of stuff and how to get the most out of it.